Okay, thank you, Mr. Carr. Good morning, everyone, dear ladies, dear gentlemen. It's a great honor for me to be here today and have a pleasure to meet all of you and share the possibility to talk about our common business. What I'm going to cover in my presentations are three items: economic overview about Europe, industrial truck market, Europe, and, according to Mr. Carr's invitation, what our industry will look like in 2025. I think that before I go any further, it is really useful to understand quickly what Europe is all about. From the geographical point of view, Europe is composed by 47 countries. 27 of them belong to the European Community. 16 out of these 27 are adopting euro as a currency, the so-called Eurozone. The map on the screen represents the overview of the countries member of the European Community and Eurozone. A good starting point to understand where we are heading here in Europe is to analyze the economic development over the past year and the forecast for the coming years in terms of GDP growth. According to the IMF latest World Economic Outlook update, the global recovery is proceeding better than expected, but at a varying speed, lower in many advanced economies and faster in some emerging and developing economies. The forecasted 4%, as you can see, as average is composed by 2% in the advanced economies, while it's 6% in the emerging economies. In this scenario, Europe's performance remained weak when compared to other parts of the world, while China, for instance, is leading the recovery, contributing mainly to this GDP trend in the past years. Let's now have a close examination into the Europe GDP development and expectation that show a moderate and uneven recovery is taking place across Europe. This is supported by the rebound in global trade, but mostly because of fiscal policy stimulus. The performance is rather different, country by country, even if the trend is almost the same for everyone. The performance is led by France and Germany, while other large euro area economies are emerging more slowly from the recession, notably Italy and Spain. Outside Eurozone, UK is expected to recover relatively fast. Aside this positive forecasted development, is to be considered that some of the drivers of the economy are still weaker than expected, making some shadow, some might say significant shadow, on the forecasted growth. What do I mean by that? In this respect, one of the most interesting indexes to follow is the economic sentiment indicators, measuring the consumer confidence along with the confidence with industry, service, construction, and retail when compared with the GDP. The overall SI index is improving, but still below historical level, and results are rather diversified from country to country. Dark green higher, reflecting the different situation within Europe. The ACI index really alert that a level of uncertainties in the economy still remain and may have some impact on the forecasted GDP growth. In fact, while the confidence indicator on industry and services has been increased, those on consumer, construction, and retails are instead rather weak. This is likely related to a number of uncertainties affecting most of the European countries, just to mention some of them: country deficit, public debt, bank credit restriction, euro fluctuation, unemployment, and so on, while the unavoidable impact of the economy. In this respect, may be of some value to have a look on some of them, such as unemployment and inflation, as example, for the top 5 European countries, which more than others have impact on our business. These 5 top European countries represent 70% of the volume, according to the WIS statistic. I'm talking our business, of course. The unemployment ratio within the top 5 European countries, with the exception was Spain, where the increase was dramatic, as you can see, and might remain at the same high level in the near future, has been worsening, but not at the dramatic level should have been expected. Despite this, the reality in many cases is rather different, as almost all EU countries had, and some of them still have, in place some social support systems, where workers are kept partially or even sometimes totally subsidized, making the unemployment ratio not reflecting precisely the reality. It is obvious that if the economy will be back, as appear, the workers will be reabsorbed by industry, while in case of further stagnation, the unemployment ratio might increase in some Europe countries, Italy as example. As far as the inflation rate is concerned, the overall development coincides with the peak recorded in the market in 2007-2008 and the drop in 2009. Inflation pressure are expected to remain subdued as the public demand is still low. The forecast for the top 5 countries within EU is for a stabilization around 2% in the next 2 years. This is what we estimate. Please note that the UK is not part of the Eurozone. Okay, what does it mean for us, for our business, for industrial market business? Okay, let's now have a look to the market as a whole. This chart represents the worldwide market size over the time, where it is evident the peak that has been recorded in 2007-8, and the sharp and fast drop we have been experiencing in 2009. As been said by people talking before me, the drop was much more dramatic on internal combustion truck class 1, 4, and 5, rather than warehouse, class 2 and 3. Let's now have a look to Europe. This chart represents instead the European market size over the time, where is evident again the peak recorded in the same period, 2007-2008, and the sharp and fast drop experienced in 2009. Again, the major drop has been recorded on counterbalance, class 1, 4, and 5, rather than warehouse, class 2 and 3. Okay, the market development is rather the same, as we saw, almost all EU countries, but I believe it may be of a value for you to have an insight on the development in the eastern and the western part of Europe. Before that, it might be useful to recap which geographical countries are classified as east and classified as west within the WIS statistics. I'm sure that you know this already. Anyway, the geographic euro market, after the dramatic drop experienced in 2009, since some months is giving sign of steady recovery. The recovery is in place in both west side, where the strongest economy are located, and the east side, where the most fast-growing or potential growing economy are located. The western market side, the so-called old Europe, where all 16 countries, part of the Eurozone, are located, represent by far the largest portion of the EU market. The Eastern market size, instead, is significantly smaller in percentage terms, but the growth rate recorded since 2007-2008 is impressive, was impressive. Not incidentally, they were the most penalized economy from the 2009 market downturn, given the more, so to say, fragile economic situation. In summary, the European GDP was slowly but consistently growing first quarter and second quarter this year, while it's not confirmed yet that the same pace will be kept in the third quarter, as mostly depend on rebalancing of global demand. Uncertainties and risks remain, mainly on country deficit and public debts, bank credit restriction, euro inflation, and unemployment, as I said earlier. Major restructuring took place in the past year in almost all mechanical industry to adapt capacity and increase competitiveness. Raw materials start to grow again since some time, indicating a recovery in the industrial activity. This is a paradox, but is a good sign. So now, my most qualified guess, the today European market expectation. Of course, this is of course the most interesting and difficult exercise, but there are, I would say, recurrent statements within the FEM community, and I would like to report as they are exactly coinciding with my opinion on this. The market peak recorded in 2007-2008 will not be back shortly. Someone will say never. I prefer to say not be back shortly. Germany will continue to largely be the driver for the EU economy. Market will continue to grow, but we have to expect some W shape, up and down, because this is likely what is supposed to happen, because it's a matter of destocking, restocking, it's a matter of risk in the market, but the overall trend is expected to be positive. But we should expect a bit of, let's say, up and down. I think that's probably, as it is today, the most qualified guess is that the market size back to 2006 level by year 2012 is the today most realistic picture. And finally, how the industrial tracks may look like in 2005. I think there are substantially 4 areas that can be heavily influenced by technology in the years to come. They can be qualified by ergonomy and active safety. What I mean by that is human interface, unit intrinsically safe for the driver, safe for the people surrounding the units, safe for the environment, safe for the goods around the units, safe for everything. Active safety system. Interface with people will be, someone was mentioning joystick or something like this, or play games. This could very well be. So probably the relation between the machine and the man will be substantially different. For sure, fundamental energy management, where I would call it high energy density devices. I don't want to call it batteries of lithium-ion batteries, whatever it will be. Probably lithium-ion batteries will be one of those. Will make internal combustion truck gradually disappearing. Electric system to substitute hydraulic system in our truck has been mentioned before me on mast actuation as example. I can imagine oil-free units. And for sure, one of the other promising field that's important is the electric motor enhancement. I think that we got step already there. We are moving step by step in the permanent magnet synchronous motor to replace asynchronous motors. It's a matter of efficiency. This is a subject that will be hot, in my opinion, in the year to come. And I think this is all from my side, and of course, if you have any question, I will be more than pleased to personally try to give you some better insight of Europe on both on the market side, economic side, and why not even technology. Thank you very much to all of you.